All right, YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. And today we're doing one of your guys' favorites. We are looking at 10 cards, actually 11 cards in this list that you guys can grade to get maximum value out of. Now, we did this video once before and you guys absolutely loved it. So you know I had to bring it back because I found some more bangers that are going to be worth grading for you. Now, one of the things I didn't mention in my previous video is the grading values and the grading cost. So I'm going to pop that up on screen for you guys here. There is a collectors club that you can be a part of with PSA and pay a paid subscription to get cheaper submissions each time. So things like $16.99 bulk submissions or $20 value submissions. Otherwise, you're looking at paying around $25 per card to grade. So that's just something I wanted to bring up while we're here because I know a lot of people in the comments said that I didn't account for grading costs. So that's kind of what you're looking for. However, you can just take things to GameStop so you don't have to worry about a minimum of 20 cards being submitted and things like that. I know a lot of you in the US can just take it to GameStop. And for those of you out in Australia, check with your local card stores because mine actually does PSA submissions and that's how I'm planning to do mine until I get enough sort of behind me to do a full 20 card submission. So with that said, let's jump into these and see some of the crazy price values that jump for these PSA 10s. And I've got a really good one at the end that you're going to want to stick around for. So if you're brand new as well, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers again. Now we're on our way to 2,000 subscribers where we do the next giveaway. And I will be announcing the previous giveaway winner in the next video. So starting off with the Gloom from Obsidian Flames. This one is a $13 card. And again, this has jumped drastically in the last month or two. A lot of these cards, you'll see a similar trend because everything is just going bananas right now. This card was like a $7, $8 card like 2 months ago. It's now sitting at around $13.79. However, when you go in and you look at the PSA 10, you're looking at $229, $274. This one was pretty cheap at $155. So these ones all down here before the price spike are around that $150 mark. However, after the recent jump, this has gone up to $274, $229. There's even one down here for $265 as well. So it can get you, this one's probably the most like stretched out of all of the cards on this list. You can see some for like 125 and then you can see some for like 275. So there's not as much range on the other cards. I don't know why that is with the Gloom here. Potentially maybe it was Japanese or something, but it doesn't look like it is. It looks like it might be the English version. So we'll jump into the next one, which is gothorita. I don't actually know this Pokemon because again, I haven't been in Pokemon for such a long time. I'm back new to it now. I'm playing through Violet at the moment, so I'm starting to learn who some of these Pokemon are. This one's from Paldea Evolved. And again, this is a super cheap card. It's a $5 card right now. It was a $2 card 3 months ago, but still a $5 card that you can get, submit to PSA. And if it gets a 10, you are coming back looking at anywhere from sort of $100 to $125. This one's even $150. So, you know, gothorita in a PSA 10, as long as you're getting a 10, obviously the 9s are worth almost nothing these days, which is really weird to me. But if you're getting that 10, you're looking at getting, you know, a 20x return. I mean, minus your fees off that. So you're still getting a ton of money back for what is a $7 card. The next one, this one's really interesting. I couldn't find a ton of information on this card, but the Paldean Wooper is a $7.50 card. You still can get it cheaper than that in a lot of places. And it was as low as $3.78 at one point. However, the interesting thing is there's not a lot of these that have been sold in a PSA 10 that I can find. eBay only shows a couple, but you will be surprised by the pricings. $273 was the most recent. That was on February 8th, which was literally 2 days ago. This one, $500. I don't know if something funny is going on there. However, as we scroll down, the Japanese one for $87. You've got another one for $500 here. You've got one here for $140. This one's $590. And this is on the PSA eBay page, which is really strange. So it's really hard to get a gauge on this one, but I feel like if you can get it graded in a PSA 10 and just hang on to it for a little bit, some more sales are going to go through and you'll get more of like a definitive answer on what value you're going to get. But as far as the prices go right now, even $273 is wild to get something like that. I don't know if you'll get $500 for it. I don't think it's a $500 card, but even getting $273 would be fantastic. Next up, a Sword and Shield promo. So the Charizard V-Star Sword and Shield promo. This is a $33 card as of right now. This card makes me a little bit sour. And the story I have with this one is that this was in a card vending machine, like literally singles of this card. There was like 10 of them. And they were, I think, 30 Australian dollars, which, I don't know, maybe 20 USD, maybe less. I don't know what exactly the conversion would be, but you can figure it out. I didn't grab any. I didn't get any. And now this card has shot up. It's a 30, it shot up to $35. It's now 33 USD, which is about 50 to 60 Australian dollars. So, I could have 3x'd just on raw cards by buying out the cards in that vending machine and then selling them onwards. So again, sometimes you miss plays and you look back at them and you can kind of learn from them with what to keep an eye out for. But in a PSA 10, when you're looking at this card, $390, $350, $310, $355, $355, $360. So I'd say this one, you're probably pretty safe at around $340 to $360. And then going forward, if you hang on to it a little bit longer, like the latest sold yesterday was $390. So I can see this going up and being $400 to $500 in a PSA 10 in the next few months. So, if you've got one, definitely submit it for grading. Next one, Mew from Crown Zenith, the Galarian Gallery Mew. This card has gone crazy lately. What was at one point like a $6, $7 card is now a $21 card. It's up 214%. At the high, it was up 244%. So just the single itself, if you had bought a ton of these, same as the Charizard, if you had bought a ton of these 2 or 3 months ago and watched the explosion happen to where it is right now, you'd be sitting pretty. And the PSA 10 price, it's nothing crazy, but again, $150, $160 a piece. If you had bought a ton of these 2 months ago, if you read the market right and you looked at it and went, it's a Mew card, it's a cool artwork, it's part of that Galarian gallery that people love. I think if you were able to get that down and get a bunch of those ordered, you were very smart to do so. Yveltal, I don't know how to actually say this. Is it Yveltal? This is one of those Pokemon I don't know yet. $20, obviously market price right now, but when graded in a PSA 10, you're looking at sort of 125-ish. So this is one of the, I guess, lower valued cards in this set. But again, there is sales here for $199. I guess it just depends on what's around at the time. But I would say a safe 110 to 125 on this one. Next one, the card everyone has been talking about lately, myself included, the Persian from Shrouded Fable, with the hype of Team Rocket coming with the set later this year. Everything Team Rocket is just climbing up the walls. This one, again, was a $23, $22 card a few months ago, got up to 76 and is now kind of leveled out at $66, which is 190% up on what it was. PSA 10's up $400. $400 for the Persian that nobody talked about until the last 2 months. Literally nobody talked about this card until the last 2 months. And it's getting 400, 385, 420, 410, 399, 399, 420. Like there's so many sales of it too. So it's, you're going to get this price if you have the PSA 10. It's so consistent for like literally all the way through January. There's so many sales here getting $300 to $400. So if you need some extra cash, that's a good one to go for. The Persian, if you can get it graded. I don't think it's as hard to grade as some of the earlier Scarlet and Violet sets. So you might get lucky with this one. Maushold, another interesting one. I didn't realize this card was worth so much. Now, don't look at the price up here because that's wrong. Let's look down here. $31 market price, up 144%. Again, 3 months ago was a $13 card. I had no idea. This is one that flew under my radar. And again, it's that phase of cutesy collectors. This is something that really appeals to them. Paldea evolved, becoming harder to find and a more popular set because of the Magikarp and whatever else. The Maushold, I think, is one of those ones that if you can get it graded, it does pretty well. You've got sales for $280, $220. You've got it $399. Again, this PSA one, not sure. They seem to get max dollar every time, but I don't know. $225, $200, $329. I don't know what this one is. This might have been Japanese. That's Chinese versions there. So there's only a couple of sales. There's a $375. So it's got a low population count, this one. There's not a lot of them being sold, and there's not a lot of them that have been graded in a 10. So if you can get one, it's an interesting sale, that one. Next up, a promo card. This is the Umbreon promo from Evolving Skies blister packs, I believe this came in. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that's where these came from. Again, a $5 card, now a $12 card, which is up 110%? No, 100%. It's 110%, 113% at the high, but is up 100% in the last 3 months. Graded in a PSA 10. Keep this in mind. $12 card. 175, 184, 158, 174. And the thing is, this is one of those sleeper cards that you'd have it and be like, yeah, it's a promo and yeah, like it looks kind of nice and whatever. But it's not really one that stands out like, oh, I need to get that graded. Like that's a card that I need to grade. So there's probably so many people around that have this in a binder somewhere that could take it out and grade it. Or, you know, there are probably people that are selling their collections on Marketplace with this included. And this is to them like a $5 card or a $10 card. So you can grab a bunch of them off wherever you can find them, get them all graded, and the amount of profit you can make is ridiculous on that. Next one is the ceruledge from Surging Sparks. I really like this card. I love the artwork. I honestly see this. I spoke about this in the Surging Sparks video yesterday. I see this card being a $50 card at some point. And I think it's going to continue to climb from here. It's currently sitting at $36. But yeah, super cool card. And when graded in a PSA 10, you're looking at like 177, 232, 234, 180, 240, 276. So again, probably getting over $200, judging on like the recent listings. A lot of them are over 200 at around about the 250 to 270 mark. So again, with so many in there, it's a pretty safe bet on that one. And then finally, the last card that we're going to do is the marill, however you want to say it. I say marill. I've always said marill, but I know some people say it differently. $32 card now, was a $15 card, $14 card 3 months ago, up 128%, but in a PSA 10, $425. Now this was another one that was interesting. There wasn't a lot of listings that had sold, but 425, 400, 350, 275, 250, 300, 460, 420. So there are a lot of sales up around that $400 mark in the PSA 10. Again, quality control, the lack of centering on these cards and all the sort of things that PSA checks for, it was really difficult to get in Paldea Evolved, which is why the Magic Cup in a PSA 10 goes for, you know, $1,500 or whatever crazy price it's fetching at the moment, $1,000. But yeah, it was 11 cards for you guys to grade. If you guys are aware of any other ones that I've missed off this list and the previous video, so if you haven't watched that yet, check it out. But if there's any that we've missed over the last 2 videos, make sure to comment them down below in the comment section, because I will make another video if we get 10 more that we can pop into another list. And thank you to the guys in the comment section on the last episode that did actually contribute to some of these. I think Gloom, Gothorita, and like a couple of other ones on this list were mentioned in my comments from the last video. So shout out to you guys. You know who you are. I appreciate y'all, and I will see you guys in the next video.